When we talk about NBA prospects, the conversation often shifts to names like Victor Wembanyama, Zion Williamson, or even Anthony Davis. Each of these players carried incredible hype before stepping onto an NBA court. But according to many players, analysts, and fans, no one has ever entered the league with the same level of attention, expectation, and pressure as LeBron James. Today, we're taking a closer look at just how big of a prospect LeBron really was, and why many argue he's the most hyped athlete in basketball history. LeBron's early stardom. LeBron's rise began when he was barely a teenager. By the age of 15, he was already being hailed as the best high school basketball player in the country. Unlike most top prospects who only receive attention from scouts and recruiting services, LeBron's name was becoming a household topic years before he was even draft eligible. He was dominating at St. Vincent St. Mary High School in Akron, Ohio, where his games were selling out gyms and drawing national coverage in a way that no high school athlete had ever experienced. What separated LeBron from others was the complete package. He had NBA size, elite athleticism, remarkable court vision, and the ability to both score and make teammates better. He wasn't just another hyped prospect. He looked like a finished NBA product before he could even vote. The ESPN era and media frenzy. One of the biggest reasons LeBron's hype became so unprecedented was the media. By the early 2000s, sports television had expanded, and ESPN was looking for stories that could capture national audiences. LeBron was perfect for that spotlight. His high school games were broadcast nationally, turning what would normally be local Ohio high school matchups into must-see TV events. And then came the iconic Sports Illustrated cover in 2002. At just 18 years old, LeBron was dubbed the Chosen One on the cover of one of the most prestigious sports magazines in the world. No high school athlete had ever received that kind of recognition, and the expectations instantly skyrocketed. He was being compared to legends like Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, and Magic Johnson before he had even played a single college or professional game. The pressure of expectations. What made LeBron's prospect status so historic wasn't just the hype, it was the pressure. It's one thing to be considered the top player in a draft class. It's another to be labeled as a future all-time great before you're old enough to graduate. LeBron wasn't just expected to succeed. He was expected to transform an NBA franchise from the moment he stepped on the court. Cleveland won the 2003 draft lottery, and the city's hopes instantly fell on the shoulders of an 18-year-old kid. The hype wasn't just national, it was global. Companies like Nike and Coca-Cola had their eyes on him even before his rookie season began, and the business world treated him as the future face of basketball. Living up to the impossible. The most incredible part of LeBron's story is that he didn't just live up to those expectations, he exceeded them. As a rookie, he scored 25 points in his debut game, showing immediately that the hype was justified. By the end of his career, his accomplishments spoke for themselves. 4 NBA championships, 4 MVP awards, the all-time leading scorer in league history, and over 2 decades of dominance. Draymond Green's point rings true here. LeBron was such a massive prospect that people have forgotten the scale of the hype because he's actually done everything people predicted, and more. He didn't just meet the impossible standard, he raised it. Comparing LeBron to other prospects. When compared to other highly touted prospects, LeBron's case still stands alone. Zion Williamson was massively popular coming out of Duke, but his hype was fueled largely by social media and highlight reels. Anthony Davis was a can't-miss #1 pick, but he wasn't a household name outside of basketball circles. Wembanyama is perhaps the closest comparison in terms of pre-draft attention, but his story is still being written. LeBron's combination of national TV coverage, iconic magazine features, high school stardom, and the weight of being compared to legends while still a teenager makes his status unique. He wasn't just an elite prospect. He was seen as a basketball savior before ever setting foot in the NBA. So how big of an NBA prospect was LeBron James? Simply put, the biggest ever. No player has entered the league with the same level of universal attention, pressure, and expectation. From being called the chosen one at 18 years old to carrying the hopes of an entire franchise and ultimately becoming one of the greatest players in history, LeBron's journey is a testament to living up to impossible hype. While the NBA will continue to see generational talents like Wembanyama, LeBron's pre-draft aura remains unmatched. He wasn't just a prospect, he was a phenomenon.